Sports 1280, New Orleans.
Jim, just because a song comes on doesn't mean you got to sing it every time.
You know, you tell that to me and we do it anyway. You realize that? Get a little Simply Red in there.
Wait a minute, how many edicts is he going to put out today?
A lot, and we're going to ignore every single one of them. Every single one.
Next thing you know, I'm going to be like, don't open your drink on the air.
Yeah.
I like that.
Don't
drink more. You better drink more water.
Don't respond to text while we're on the air. Don't touch this football that's in front of you.
Mute your computer so we don't hear the dings and dungs.
Well, I got to do that for Jeff when we're live and you can hear YouTube through the mic. Jim Derry, Claude Verdun, Dave is here. All right, moving on. Greatest of all time. So you didn't think Tom Brady was the greatest of all time, even going into that game, 5-2 in Super Bowls. Now you think he's taking an even bigger hit now that he's 5-3.
I never thought he was the greatest of all time.
Not at all.
He's a surefire Hall of Famer.
So where is he?
He's a fantastic player. He's probably in the top 5 or top 10 of all time.
Probably in the top 10 of all time. Okay.
Yeah,
probably.
I'd have to make it. I've never sat down and made a list. But I can think of 2 players off the top of my head that are I would definitely rate ahead of them. And I'd say Drew Brees is at least as good as Tom Brady. There's only one GOAT, in my opinion, and they're probably, you can't ever say that there won't ever be anyone like him. I hate that. There'll never be another one of those.
Yeah, they will be, because he just got traded to the 49ers, and he's going to be the next Joe Montana, Jimmy Garoppolo.
The best player that ever played the game was Joe
that's going to work.
Period.
So you're saying Joe Montana.
Yeah, it was Joe Montana.
Not even close. Tom Brady's nowhere near him.
When I was watching the Saints growing up and into my, 20s, I can't imagine saying, oh, my God. One of the greatest wins in Saints history was after we beat Joe Montana on, I think it was Monday Night Football, and it was like, holy cow, the Saints beat Joe Montana. It was a huge victory. I
understand that, but he's okay. Your argument is that he's 4-0 in the Super Bowl. He's never fumbled in the fourth quarter. He's
never fumbled, period. He's never turned the ball in 4 Super Bowl games. He's never, ever turned the ball over.
All right,
he has 11 touchdowns and 0 interceptions with a rating of 127.8.
That's pretty good. But I thought you told me it's not all about Super Bowls.
It's not, but that's the argument that you're using.
Tom Brady has led 8 teams to the Super Bowl.
So what?
And he's won 5 of them.
So what? First of all, I hate the whole Super Bowl argument. I'm just bringing up the Super Bowl stats because that's your basis for an argument. Just like the whole LeBron versus Michael Jordan thing.
That's not a contest.
It's not one anymore, but I think for a hot second it was because of what he was able to do.
He won 3 in a row, right?
He was able to win 2. He was able to win 2 with the Heat.
Right.
He was able to go to 4 with the Heat. He lost 2 of those. Then left to go back to Cleveland. Then won 1 there.
Right. I forgot. I don't know.
I hate. First of all, look, seriously.
That's why we got to pull Clyde in.
I hate the whole Super Bowl argument because, first of all, the Super Bowl argument to me is more about what a coach does instead of a player. There's 52 players on a roster. Back when Joe Montana played, I think it was 45. But there are 52 players on a roster, and although the roster turns over quite a bit every year.
52 others outside of the quarterback.
Whatever. That's what I mean. It's more than – Tom Brady's probably had the greatest collection of offensive linemen throughout his career. How many times – seriously, how many times has he been sacked in his career? And I'm joking about 6, but I'd be willing to bet he probably gets sacked on an average of once a game.
He's had some years where he's had patchwork offensive lines.
Give me a break.
Oh, okay.
Bill Belichick is the reason why they've won 5 Super Bowls. And look, Tom Brady obviously has a huge hand in it. I'm not taking away from the guy. He's a great player, surefire, first ballot Hall of Famer. He has the stats. He's got the moxie. He did all that stuff, but he's not as good as Joe Montana was. Joe Montana he and Bill Walsh started the offense that everyone still uses today, and this was 37 years ago.
Okay.
38 years ago.
All right.
And half the reason why Tom Brady's in the position he is because he's using the offense that Joe Montana used.
Okay.
that Joe Montana helped create.
If Joe Montana was the greatest of all time, why does he leave and Steve Young comes in and wins it? I haven't seen Bill Belichick win a Super Bowl without Tom Brady. So why you can't just put you can't just put it on Belichick.
Because
you just
Steve Young came in from the mountain that Joe Montana built.
And how long was Steve Young on the roster before he eventually took the starting job?
Like 6 years.
Yeah.
I won't know this argument because they traded away Garoppolo, and we won't know the successor.
Then again,
I blame him.
at the same time,
I won't know the argument.
Sir, okay, you can make the argument. Okay, how good were the Patriots when Matt Castle was the quarterback?
I mean, they went 11-5.
Yeah, they were pretty good. How
They
good
missed
were
the
they when
playoffs.
Jimmy Garoppolo played most of the season?
I mean, he played 4 games. They
Or whatever.
I think he went 3-0, and they lost
were pretty
one.
darn good.
Jacoby Brissett lost 1 game?
What I'm saying is,
Yes.
if you put, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again, if you put Drew Brees way back when Tom Brady started, which was a little before, I think a year or two before Brees, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
They played against each other in college.
okay, well, if you put Drew Brees in the same position at the same time, Drew Brees wins at least 5 Super Bowls, if not 7.
I would not disagree with you there. I would not.
Okay, so then we'd be calling
I
Drew
would not
Brees the
disagree
GOAT,
with you, but
and that would be a better argument because Drew Brees is more accurate than Tom Brady is.
if you're going to debate Brees and Brady, I think Brees would have benefited from some pretty stout defenses in New England.
But again, and look, I'm not the biggest Sean Payton fan in the world. Anyone who's read my columns or listened to me in the past knows that. But Drew Brees absolutely has Sean Payton to thank for a lot of his success as well. It's
I
the
don't
same
think there's
kind of
any doubt
thing.
about
I mean,
that.
if Drew Brees goes to Miami, he doesn't have nearly the career that he's had in New Orleans.
Now, Tom Brady has had multiple offensive coordinators, and he's been great all the way through.
And he's about to lose that same offensive coordinator again to potentially.
And I don't
all
this guy-
reports
but this
about
guy-
Colts head coach.
This guy's been there. You want to say he's been there for the last 8 years. I mean, it's not like he's had a new guy every other year. I mean, come on.
Well, he left for an extended period of time. I mean, Josh McDaniels was a head coach.
For 2 years before he got fired and went back?
And Bill O'Brien was there for a while and such. So, look. It's,
Which again,
And
I
Bill
think,
O'Brien's going to make Deshaun Watson a Hall of Famer.
And
That's not an exaggeration.
Bill O'Brien is not going to make Deshaun Watson a Hall of Famer. Bill O'Brien might not even make it through next season. So let's not go that way.
We'll see.
Fair.
We'll see.
He might, no.
Deshaun
Bill
Watson
O'Brien-
is going to be a fantastic.
Bill O'Brien is not going to be
All right, on-air
the
bet
Texans
time.
quarterback.
On-air bet time.
The Texans coach like in 2 years. He's not.
I bet you he will be.
Oh, okay.
wait. What? Okay, what do we? Will Bill O'Brien be the coach of
How
the
did this
Houston
turn into
Texans?
Bill O'Brien, by the way.
in the next by
Brady's
20
coach.
I mean,
through 2020. That's it. Will Bill O'Brien be the Texans coach through 2020
No.
with Deshaun Watson?
No.
through
Jim is saying because I mean we're talking
That's
2 years.
3 years, actually.
Sorry, 3 years, but at least will that or at least get us to 2019? So through the 2019 season.
Absolutely. And he
No.
will start the 2020 season as the Houston Texans coach.
Okay, that works. Larry,
I'm going to say no.
Okay. Well,
No, because Sean Payton's contract's going to run out.
Oh.
And guess who's going to be the coach and coaching Deshaun Watson? Sean Payton.
no, he's not.
well, at least he'll be in the AFC, so that's good.
If he goes
So we don't
anywhere,
have to
he's
worry
going to
about
Dallas.
it. That one game that he'll have to eventually play against the Saints is going to be like, all right, guys, we're just going to let loose. I want you to score 75. All right, great. Sounds good. Thanks.
Let's go back to the GOAT debate.
All right, well, we need to take a break.
Okay.
And we'll go back to the GOAT debate because, okay, you mentioned another player. Why don't we get to that? Because you think Joe Montana is the best, and then you think someone else is ahead of
I
Brady.
think I would put Walter Payton ahead of Tom Brady,
All right, interesting. All right, we'll talk more about that. Also,
who only made it to 1 Super Bowl, and Mike Ditka screwed him.
we will make
another
sure we get through the all-important prop bets that we went through on Friday.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about Giselle. I mean, that's what a smart talk show is all about.
That's right. Exactly. Nipplegate. We're going to talk about that, too.
I had the time of my
Justice for Janet.
Justice for Janet. I was like, what? I don't even know what that meant.
life.
Justice.
Mellow Monday.
Justice for Janet. So, also, don't forget, Jeff Duncan will be joining us top of the 11 o'clock hour. So come on back. Sports 1280, NOLA.com, the iHeartRadio app. Duncan Older.